Oh, so you don't know about the Christmas massacre of 1998?
No, I don't.
There used to be a dog named Shony.
Sad day.
Who was Shony, Hiram?
Shony was the joy of Diana's life. It was the cornerstone that our relationship was built on.
It was a dog with a goiter.
Can you hear the disdain in her voice right now?
I sacrifice and leave my life behind, follow my wife to Idaho, bring my loyal companion. The goiter was caused by fighting off a rock chuck that was trying to hurt
Those gates I had to put back in, they rock chucks take out of the pipe.
So you admit there was hate and anger towards the dog, animosity.
Little bit.
Little bit.
Sorry.
How many gates did we put in them pipes?
Every time we needed an ear gate, I had to go put gates in because that stupid dog.
Is any of this a justification for what ended up happening to Shony?
Shony was its own downfall. I told
Hiram.
you that.
Hiram, tell the story.
I don't know, I'm pretty sure we just established motive.
Aren't you?
Oh, there was motive.
No, all I need is opportunity and a weapon.
Well, the weapon is still a little bit curious.
Let me go ahead and lead to the opportunity.
Hiram laughed.
As I've been up here, drawn away from my family, my support group, I felt the need to return, to go see my family. So I begged Diana to let me have a little bit of leave time from the asylum that we call here. And we crossed.
Now, are you the main keeper of the asylum or the main person that lives here?
No, I would be considered a inmate.
At least you're here.
Yeah.
But wait a minute,
I'm not the caretaker of this place.
I've heard of the inmates running the asylum.
So Diana and I went back to the east slope of the Rockies, back where people still love animals.
We got to get rid of the wolves because they eat our cattle. I mean, what?
Shony wasn't a wolf.
Shony was a loving dog. Who was loving even more until Brent gave her brain damage, which we'll discuss on a later date. So now I have a loving companion with a large goiter who got it defending me. That has brain damage because of a brother-in-law and another brother-in-law. So not only was this a loving dog, it was also a handicapped disabled dog.
And you were just ready to get in a wheelchair, right?
Handicapped and disabled, right?
She was pretty spry.
Yeah, so I'm there visiting my poor grandma. Fragile, frail, needed me there. So I didn't want to take the dog because it needed to stay here. So we go back there. I get a phone call at my grandma's. Shony was hit by a corn picker. You ever seen corn pickers?
Yeah, I know what a corn picker is.
You know how fast they move?
Not that fast.
So what do you think the likelihood of a dog
5 miles per hour
getting hit by a corn picker?
Well, it depends if the dog was chasing something in the corn or not.
I don't know.
Or
A
you mean
handicapped dog with goiter might not be moving too fast.
Yeah, you think like his goiter was slowing it down.
And the brain damage has something to do with it.
So that's the claim, is the dog get hit by a corn picker.
It goes like 3 to 5 miles per hour.
Like you can get out and walk faster, So, I'm not real sure about physics. It wasn't my specialty, which I have many specialties, but that's not one of them. I'm pretty sure the velocity times mass equals energy, right? So I can take the mass of the corn picker, which is great. But when you take that times the velocity, it wouldn't even have done anything. There was no energy created by the impact. So anyway, I get the call that my poor dog was hit by a corn picker, and was almost dead. What do you want us to do with this dog? Well, what's the, I'm like, well, how bad is it? Well, it won't get up, it's laying here, it's bleeding, it's whining. I said, well, put it down. Well, yeah, I actually said, take her to the vet and do what you think is best for her. If she's in pain, take her to the vet. So anyway, get a call a little bit later, so they put Shony down.
You see how she's laughing at this? Look at her giggle. Look at this woman.
So as
we
I
put his dog down.
Be grieved at my grandma's house, weeping on my wife's bosom over the loss that we now share. I kept my trip early to make it back for the services. So here's my poor elderly grandma now abandoned as I have to rush back to Idaho to tend to the services for the fallen Shony. As we pull in the driveway and I'm walking up to the house, hoping to help console the other grieving people, I found Jubilee. As I look at my mother-in-law's car, I see hair and stuff on the bumper.
You did not. You're making a big story. The whole thing's making a story.
It's good that my shoes are somewhat brown.
Yep,
So far,
I
I think everything's been said so far is 98% true.
Yeah.
It's that 2% I'm concerned.
There was hair
So
on the bumper.
As I come in the house, right, I look around, and I'm like, and thank you for trying, to get her to the vet and everything. It had to have been tough, lifting her up and carrying her to the car for this long ride. As the response came back, I had couldn't even expect how vulgar
Hiram.
the news that I had heard or was about ready to hear was. They said, pick her up and carry her. We just put the tailgate down in the pickup and told her to jump in.
No, Mom didn't say that.
No. Mom said that. I was there. I was at that meal. Said, oh, it was no problem at all. We just put tailgate. Shony jumped right in. We took her to town.
Yeah, but you didn't know Shony.
So the question was, so the dog was in bad enough shape that it needed to be put down as a
She was
race killing.
bleeding and whining.
A coup d'etat needed to be done to this poor animal. But she's able to jump into a tall pickup with a single bound.
Yep, she was a stupid dog.
Let me guess what she got in there. She reached over the side and panted and looked down the road egerly to see
She
the
did
dude.
not. She lay there and died.
After the lethal injection. So now we have opportunity.
And she even
Motive.
asked the vet if he could do anything for it. She said, run
Don't
it
eat
in
some
the
more
horse
pie.
and
Did you
put
tell
it
them?
down.
Yeah. And all she said, I got this from the vet. The last word she mumbles to that dog before they gave it the shot was, remember the gates. Remember the gates.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. That's vicious, isn't it?
Remember the what?
Well, I think it depends who tells the story.
Yeah, you want to hear my version?
Yeah, let's hear yours involves a corn picker.
The stupid dog got hit by the corn picker, came crawling to the house, curled up in a ball, and I called you and told you the dumb dog got hit.
Did you just refer to the victim as a dumb dog?
Well, his brain
Oh,
damage
and sure,
by
make
the
fun of its
brother-in-law.
physical attributes too. So now it's a dumb dog with bad physical attributes?
So I took her to the vet, and they killed her.
There was no compassion shown.
Thank goodness.
Thank
I don't
goodness.
see any remorse.
Thank goodness. Did she say thank goodness?
Yeah, I don't see any remorse.
There never will be any remorse for that dog.